At approximately midnight East Coast time, Donald Trump posted that he is voiding all of former President Biden's pardons. Donald Trump essentially asserting the powers of a dictator and saying that he is going to go after, using the Department of Justice, any of the people that former President Biden pardoned. Here's Donald Trump's late night dangerous and psychotic post. Donald Trump wrote the following: the pardons that Sleepy Joe Biden gave to the Unselect Committee of political thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by Autopen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a crime. Therefore, those on the Unselect Committee who destroyed and deleted all evidence obtained during their 2-year witch hunt of me and many other innocent people should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is, they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without the knowledge or consent of the worst president in the history of our country, crooked Joe Biden.
Reacting to this news today, Kinzinger said that in his view, Trump is quote unquote obsessed with him. And he said, bring it on. Here's Kinzinger.
Listen, this dude knows, he knows that this is like the thing that embarrasses him. He won't admit it embarrasses him because he's trying to like pretend like he didn't do anything. He's obsessed. He's more obsessed with like me and Liz Cheney than his freaking golf score. Hey, Trump, bring it on, dude. You weak, whiny, tiny man.
Have y'all seen the Autopen?
Yeah, they said Joe Biden signed all his executive orders and pardons with the Autopen.
That shit is crazy.
Did
y'all see that video?
No.
What is? It's like a device.
It's like a device that can like plagiarize someone's signature.
Well, remember the Mike Johnson said that one executive order he asked him about, he knew nothing about it.
They saying he's a senile old man, and they was using the Autopen to pass directives.
That sound very possible.
Was he still like there?
Yeah, he still had it, but it's saying like the pen just can write for you, basically. Well, if he wrote it, I guess he wrote it.
Hold on. So you telling me they had a device where the pen signed?
You haven't seen it, bro? I'm gonna show you the video, bro.
Chill
Well,
out,
it's just gonna look like he's signing it, basically.
Bro, I mean, look, like some movie cartoons.
I would like to see the evidence they have on proving that this was signed by Autopen.
Yeah,
I think that Mike Johnson thing is a lot of evidence.
I think that's very damning. I agree. But I would like to see the evidence they have saying that this is
Autopen.
I would be scared.
So he was holding the pen and the pen just
yeah, but that's just lazy. I mean, basically, kind of like the same thing when they say.
So hold on, you tell me we got technology that can do that now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. Yes, bro.
I don't think that's that super high tech.
Yeah,
you telling me just hold the pen and that bitch is right?
Yes.
That shit is crazy to you. I don't think that's crazy.
I mean, it is, but you know, they look.
I thought it was like a stamp or something. Nah, y'all saying he holding the pen and it's right by itself, bro. Look, that sounds too unbelievable to me right now.
During the debate, remember they had the earrings Kamala had as headphones. They really pulled them up and they really had them in real life.
No, I actually do believe that kind of.
Like, that's why I don't think it's too far fetched.
Because that debate was the best I saw her do.
This is wild. An investigation done by the Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project discovered that almost every single signature of Joe Biden's during his presidency was signed using an Autopen, meaning that all of the documents that he signed were being used by a computer-saved signature and not done by hand. They found that almost every signature was Autopen, except for one of the most famous ones on the letter where he was announcing he was dropping out for running for president last election. As you can see here, Autopen, Autopen, and then here it is on the letter of him dropping out of the race. Clearly a different signature, and you can see also it is underlined. Now, Autopen is not new. It's legally been around for the president since 2005, since President Bush's presidency, but it's typically used while presidents are on vacation, like Barack Obama in 2013. The 60 plus days that President Trump has been president, we've watched him by hand sign a whole lot of executive orders and documents. So now people are bringing up the 7 pardons that were signed on January 19th, President Joe Biden's last day in office, saying that they were all Autopen. Other people are more concerned with that signature with the underline that was used.
So it's a real thing.
Wow.
Bro,
But technically, it would be still his consent.
He wasn't aware
Cognitive enough.
But all them pardons that just happened out of nowhere was kind of fishy, bro.
Yeah, last minute
We got to keep it
pardons.
100. So
After he swore up and down he wasn't going to pardon his family.
But I
Yeah.
think the whole time he was just lying.
he pardoned a lot of people, bro.
It's
Liz
concerning,
Cheney.
man.
We saw President Trump's comments about the use of the Autopen, the pardons that President Biden signed. And I just want to know from you, has President Trump ever used an Autopen to sign official documents, either in his first term or since he took office a second time?
Well, I've seen President Trump hand sign every executive order my whole time, and every pardon.
Have you ever seen him use an
Autopen?
Autopen?
For him. But more, President Trump signs every single critical government function document. But here's the more important point about that, even more important. The more important point is that President Trump personally directs every single federal government policy.
Right, but has he ever
Trump
signed anything
personally
with an
directs,
Autopen?
to my knowledge, every single executive order, every single proclamation, every single major government action, every single thing that affects the lives, safety, and livelihoods of the American people that comes out of the executive office of the president, he has signed. But more importantly, he has directed,
signed without
he
the
has
Autopen.
briefed, he has been involved in. And this is the most important point. It's not just that Joe Biden used the Autopen. It's that he didn't know it.
No, it's a
he was
fact
not
he did
briefed on it. He was not aware of it. He did not approve it. He was not mentally aware of what the government was doing.
If we're talking about the legality of something signed with an Autopen or not, I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything President Trump signed.
The key point is that you're missing
Stephen,
it.
I'm so sorry we're running out of time here. I do appreciate how much time you have spent with me,
Biden didn't know what was being signed in his name.
All right.
That's the key
I understand. I understand what you are saying. I do appreciate you coming on to explain your point of view. Thank you very much for being willing to be here.
All right, well, that's confirmation. I think he used it. Oh, well, we know that for a fact. I mean, we've seen the signatures. He used it. That's insane.
I think it's a robot, bro. It don't have to be.
So I'm not gonna lie though. If Joe,
you was tripping, bro. I don't think it was using his hand. I think it was like
It's a computer saved signature.
What?
So he didn't use a pen. You said he used a pen, and it was just controlling.
That's what they said the Autopen was. They
Yes, that's literally
described
what it
it
is,
was.
buddy. He's not signing.
So
he puts
they
his
said
hand on
Obama
it and
used it when he was not there.
When he wasn't there.
Used
Yes.
when you're not there.
Okay, I'm in Africa right now. If I do want that to get passed, use the Autopen.
Oh, so the
so it can sign it
yeah.
perfectly, and I stamp that.
So I
He
think
was
what
using
they're
it
saying
there.
is they're void because no one watched Joe sign those.
No, they're
with
saying
the-
it's void because he didn't sign it himself.
Yes, okay.
That's
He
what
used
I'm
the
saying.
Autopen to
Exactly,
sign
yeah.
So
it.
anyone could have done that with his pen.
Possibly,
Exactly.
yes.
Possibly,
Yes.
correct.
So these pardons, he might
to
not
give
have
me
been
an
there,
Autopen.
or he might not even knew what he was signing, like Mike Johnson said. Autopen.
Well, I think that's more
That's a
proof
fact.
of the Autopen than anything.
I think that's
that
a fact.
and the signatures we can see.
I like the way you pieced that together there.
Minimum, John, it feels like another moment where Trump might be daring the courts, daring the judiciary. If he tries to see this through, it'll get appealed, and that appeal will be appealed, and eventually some court is going to have to either say yes or no, and we'll see what the administration, if they agree to abide by it.
This is the president.
Yeah, John. There's so, as you said, there are many points to be made here, and it would almost be a joke if it weren't so kind of horrifying. This is consistent with, to your point, the biggest story in our politics, the most foundational story, is this story that you're pointing to, which is the story of Donald Trump continuing to try to enlarge the scope of power that resides in the executive branch and in himself, essentially as something we never had in America before, as a king. And he is seems to be looking for ways to take those challenges to the highest level. It's like he's almost seems to be headed for clashes that he's kind of begging for with the judiciary that would allow him to press against longstanding constitutional and precedential limits so that he can essentially break through those limits and establish effectively a new form of executive-centric government in America. That's, is all kind of like abstruse language that kind of expresses the drama in some sense and the foundational nature of
These people are weird, bro.
It's interesting the way they're trying to make it seem like he's just like completely out of line here.
like he used the Autopen.
Like,
that's a problem.
Yeah, like so, like that means anybody could have been signing.
So let's just run it back.
Like if they have literal physical evidence of the fact that his signature is different when he writes it versus the signature that's been provided.
And hey, guess what?
You gotta at least look into it.
If I didn't commit a crime, I wouldn't be worried at all.
That's facts. If you weren't guilty of anything, you wouldn't require a pardon.
So
But,
what the heck?
But if he said, yeah, I approve that, it's still just avoid it no matter what.
What?
I guess I don't know.
That's a good question.
So how can they prove like if he
I guess
knew
you
it or
couldn't
not?
prove it.
What if he knew it or not?
Yeah.
I mean they don't. I guess he's just gonna see if they was guilty
Like
in
he
court.
said, she said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Couldn't
I mean,
prove
but
it.
we got the proof.
Either
that,
way, though.
we got the proof that he was using an Autopen though.
But you can say that he, with his hand, used the Autopen.
And said, I approve
If he
that.
says that he did that.
But like, should a president be using an Autopen with your own hand?
No.
If you were there right there in that,
They said Obama kind of used it already.
But he was away. That's different though. We see that point of why that can happen.
But they said he used it for every order. So if
That's
he
a
was
problem.
if he was sitting there using it for every one,
Like,
I
what's
don't
going
know.
on?
That's a problem.
I guess
That is a problem, but
I guess I see the point. He's
you
saying
can't
that he
prove
was
it.
consistently using it. Like it's not like it was just like a one-time thing. If he was consistently using it and they were enacting on those things,
He
wouldn't
already
that make
can
it-
talk.
but they probably had him do it consistently so
problem.
that some of the things that he might maybe this is all
Think
maybe.
about it. We saw
some
him
of them he did, some of them he didn't.
But
I
we
know
gotta
that
think
Mike
about this,
Johnson
though.
thing though. That
Look.
to me is though because the Speaker of the House
We should have seen this coming though.
came out and said that he did not know an executive order. So I mean,
We really watched.
he wasn't cognitive. Everyone knows he wasn't cognitive. I'm just saying I don't know how you can prove it either way.
We watched that man fall asleep and sign a bill before, literally.
So therefore, everything he did should be looked at. I don't see a problem with that. We
Yeah,
had
it
a
can be
bad,
looked at. It has to be,
corrupt
yeah.
administration. Everything should be looked at. This is just
I just don't know how
something-
they could
These are the
prove.
people that went after him. So of course, I can see why he got animosity toward this. So
But
it's like,
so Trump has the power to just void it automatically, any pardon?
I mean, I don't know. He the president. I feel
He's
like
taking
he
it to court. He's trying to
He
fight
can do
it.
anything. I feel like
But
honestly. I don't know.
What, like, other than that, that's,
Because it's proof. I think it's, hey, look, man, look, we obviously see this.
but
He
why
was
haven't
doing this.
why haven't they taken him to court? And you said he just stand on. I told him that they can do that. It's easy. Just
we don't
saying
see.
Joe Biden up
That-
there.
yeah,
They
It comes
but
down to
has
he
to-
said,
has to
she
go to
said
court.
at that
Yeah,
point.
Gotta go to
I
court.
did it.
But then this is gonna be like, okay, well, how about this?
You think they got some evidence that we probably don't know about?
Hold on though. I guess what are we fighting for, the pen situation, or are we fighting against Liz Cheney? That's the thing though. Like it's all right. Well, is Liz Cheney guilty or not? Forget the pen. I think that's.
But that's what's going to come down to.
That's what it's gonna be. That's what I'm saying. So
But-
like, if she was guilty, then I mean, Joe Biden was wrong for that pardon. Because
But-
pardon is supposed to be for some people that didn't do nothing actually wrong, and you give them.
Well, pardon is for they just letting him out because Kodak did things wrong and Trump pardoned him.
Yeah, because he thought he could possibly get better in life. But if you went out the political opponent and tried to put a president in jail, then that's
Yeah.
totally different than, I guess, thugging. I don't know. But, we'll see.
Hey,
We'll see.
they need some
President
evidence.
Trump doubling down over the weekend
They
on
got
his
it.
claim that his predecessor, Joe
That's the
Biden,
evidence.
used an Autopen to add his signature
he say,
to
she
crucial
say,
documents.
It's
Mills
proof.
Hayes
It
is here with
should
us
be
this
illegal to
morning.
use it, though.
So, Mills, describe
Facts.
this to us. What exactly is an Autopen? And is there any evidence that President Biden was heavily relying on one, like President Trump claims?
Well, good morning, Marky. Happy to be back here. An Autopen is a device that replicates someone's signature. It's something that celebrities often use to sign autographs for fans, and it provides an identical signature every single time, like almost a stamp. It's common knowledge that presidents use the device too. Harry Truman, believed to be the first U.S. president to do so almost 100 years ago. But the White House doesn't exactly broadcast that they're doing it for obvious reasons. The issue here, according to President Trump, is how much his predecessor was allegedly relying on it.
Amazon.
And overnight, the president upping the ante, posting that the pardons signed by President Biden are, quote, hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect, because of the fact that they were done by Autopen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them. He continues
gotta be a
those
way to do
on
that, bruh.
the unselect committee, referring
should
to
be
the House
illegal
committee that
all the way.
investigated January 6th, should, quote, fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is that they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without their knowledge or consent.
could be
This
possible.
claim originated from the Heritage Foundation's oversight project. They highlighted signatures from pardons that the president signed, including those for Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley, and the January 6th committee. They allege
so
that
close.
the signatures are identical, suggesting the
Fauci,
use of an
though?
Autopen.
So he
They
used it. It
contrasted
was
those
used
signatures
for
with
sure.
the one announcing Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 presidential race, which they say is noticeably different. The president suggested on Truth Social, quote, the person who was the real president during the Biden years was the person who controlled the Autopen. Here's what President Trump first said about the claim on Friday.
Crooked Joe Biden got us into a real mess with Russia and everything else he did, frankly, but he didn't know about it, and he, generally speaking, signed it with Autopen. So how would he know? That Autopen is a big deal. 99% of the time I say do it, but they come up and I sign it. But you don't use Autopen. It's, number one, it's disrespectful to the office.
It should be illegal, though.
Marquis, so far, no response from President Biden or anyone who worked in the Biden White House. But again, this is something that presidents do use and have used for decades. President George W. Bush's Justice Department actually made a legal argument that an Autopen signature is just as valid as the president's handwritten signature when it comes to signing bills.
I can see that
That's
point
the
too.
problem, though.
Fascinating. A lot more to come.
I can see that point too.
Because it was legal, so I mean, you can't really get mad that they did it.
yes.
But obviously, this is the problem that it brings, so it should be banned to me.
Yes, but the overall problem is this: Dr. Fauci got pardoned.
Yeah.
Liz Cheney got pardoned with this Autopen. That's a problem.
It is. I just don't see how investigating it, how can you prove that he didn't do it?
Yeah, bro. That's the problem. Unless they got pictures of something.
Unless they got a camera. They got a camera of Obama using the Autopen.
We're gonna put Mike Johnson on the stand. We're gonna put everybody on the stand. Say, hey man, he was signing things that he didn't know about. So then it should be looked at.
They'll all be looked at again, but how do you
to
prove
be honest,
it?
be honest with you, putting Joe Biden on the stand, they might win the case.
They gonna say too, he's not cognitively, you can't put an old man on the stand,
That would be just too messy.
But that make a point.
Honestly, I think it's very interesting. Like the fact that they proved it.
They did prove it.
They did.
I mean, like they have the evidence of him using Autopen, and they have the difference of him actually signing. I mean,
But
That's a problem.
they gotta prove that he didn't use the Autopen because it's legal to use the Autopen. It should be illegal to use an Autopen.
So that's the thing,
so
though.
that this situation does not occur. Because now it's too he say she say
The
to
thing
me.
is, though, it's not like that. He's saying Joe Biden should be in jail for using the Autopen. It's not that. He's just looking at why did this get signed with Autopen. But a lot of stuff got signed with Autopen.
Everything they said,
But-
everything but his resignation letter.
Exactly.
So
like, how's this
you
gonna
have
get
to look
voided?
at every single document,
And it's-
and
well-
it's he said she said with them all.
Everything should be looked at.
No,
It will be
Especially-
looked at.
Especially Dr.
But how
Fauci
will they
getting
prove it?
pardoned. Why does a doctor need to get pardoned?
But
huh?
if he can do away with the pardons, I don't think it matters because he can just do away with it anyways.
And then they're gonna be took to court. That's all. That's really what all this is about. This is just proof. This is just proof in the pudding right here.
It helps.
Of that Joe Biden really probably mean to do this. Even if he
He
did,
didn't mean to
didn't.
do a lot of things, probably.
But you know,
I'm on the side of he didn't know what he was doing. I'm just trying to keep it real and say that I don't know how we could reverse a thing if we're proving it. If that's what it takes to reverse it. If he just reversed it, it don't matter if we prove it or not. That's what is going to happen.
It's just gonna have to be Joe Biden standing up if we're gonna be
If all it takes is did you do it or not, and he said, yeah, I did it. Well, we wasted our
he reversed the
investigation time.
pardons. Look like they finna go to court. So we
But
gonna
that's
see
good,
what
man.
happened then. I don't see why a doctor needs to be pardoned. I would have reversed that without the Autopen. Why the hell does a doctor need to be pardoned? Come on, we seen the shit Liz Cheney
Well,
did.
the opposing argument would be Trump's attacking his political opponents.
I'm just giving.
But
him
a
pardon.
doctor isn't his political opponent. So
They're
I
trying to
guess
say
that's-
about COVID.
Yeah, so Trump should pardon me right now for no reason, huh? I ain't do shit. Fuck, I need a pardon right now, folks. But anyways, though, guys, let us know what y'all think.